Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I'm Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my videos on human geography as well as physical geography and currently geomorphology, that is landforms. So in this session on landforms, we are going to talk about a very interesting feature that is because of the underground water, and it is called karst landforms. So before we go ahead, please like and subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon for the updates. So let's learn about these karst landforms in the geomorphology that we are doing. So karst landforms are important where the action of underground water is important, not the surface water like the fluvial landforms. That is the main difference. Now let's learn further the various features, the various characteristics, the processes and various landforms that is part of this karst landform. So first thing is the word karst itself. Where does it come from and why? So remember, limestone is important here. Limestone is soluble in water. So those places where the underground entire structure of rock is composed of limestone or chalkstone or calcium, which is soluble in water, there in those regions, especially where you see this Trieste Bay. And where is this Trieste Bay? We are going to look at that. So Trieste Bay is named after this word in Slovenian. In Slovenian, it is called Kras. In German, it is called karst, and in Italian, it is called karso. So remember these three words, they are of almost same kind of origins, same kind of pronunciation. So kras, karst, karso. So what we see is karst landforms. It is talking about those areas where you have this entire thick bed of limestone, where these cavings you can observe, these features which are created underground. On the surface you see all flat, all green, but underground features are there. So how these underground features are made? Let's learn in the karst landforms. So any limestone or dolomitic region, remember these are the minerals and rocks. So limestone or dolomitic region showing typical landforms produced by action of groundwater that we learn as the karst landscape. So through the process of solution, precipitation, deposition, these are called karst topography. So major processes, as we know, is solution, then what we have is carbonation, then what we have is precipitation and deposition. So this is why, remember, this entire solution based, dissolution based, precipitation and deposition based topography is created underground. That is what is the part of karst topography. So after the typical topography developed in limestone rocks of karst region in the Balkan adjacent to the Adriatic Sea. Now you see Balkan Peninsula, where is it? Close to Adriatic Sea. So if you go by this map, what you see, Balkan Peninsula is bordered by Adriatic Sea. So where is it located? Now just look at this particular place. This is what we observe, this place from here. Right from here you see this entire peninsula. This is known as Balkan Peninsula. So where is it? Now you can see here for yourself. So this is what we say, this Balkan Peninsula near this Adriatic coast. This is where one way you have Black Sea, one way you have Mediterranean Sea, where you have Adriatic Sea. This entire peninsula has several such kind of landscape of this limestone topography, where you have karst landscape or karst topography very famously there. So when we said Trieste Bay, now just look at this important small feature here, this bay. This is called Trieste Bay, which is there near Slovenia and just above Croatia. So this is a place which is known as karst plateau. Now there is the landscape where this nomenclature came into this geomorphology. So karst plateau is a place there in the Trieste Bay. So let's understand furthermore. So when you see here, what you observe, this part, this is called Vipava Valley in this karst plateau. So this is one of the important places from where the study came along and where people learned about this. So this is important here. So just observe which are the neighboring countries: Austria, Italy, and then Croatia. So this is where most of these karst landforms, those karst caves, these are found on the Earth's surface. So now let's go to the process. So what is that? Work of groundwater, or we say underground water. So our focus is on the work of groundwater in the erosional landmasses and evolution of landforms when we talk about karst topography. So karst landscapes are predominantly composed of limestone rock that contains greater or equal to. Now here is the catch. Where can this landscape be found? Not everywhere, even if it has smaller limestone. It has to have either 70 or more. Almost 70% of the rock structure, if it is of limestone type, then there is a probability of this karst topography. So calcium carbonate is soluble in water, and that's where this underground water reacts with calcium carbonate, and further it goes out, taking away the material, dissolving it, and that's where karst topography is formed. Now, let's understand these erosional landforms in karst topography first. So first feature that we see is the swallow holes. Now remember, the word itself is swallow, and who is swallowing it? The water is swallowing all the limestone here. So there is a depression created which is known as swallow hole. So this is important. It is small to medium sized, round to sub-round form, and on the surface of limestones through this solution process that we know. This is what we know as the swallow holes. So earlier there was a land surface above this. Now it is exposed. So this can be clicked as it is there on your screen, known as the swallow holes. The next important feature are other holes which are called sink holes. Remember, there was a feature called potholes in fluvial process. So many times people get confused. Remember, potholes are fluvial, sink holes or swallow holes are karst in feature. So that is important. So look at these features. You can observe for yourself. Funnel-like structure. This is a bigger one. So this is called sinkhole. Many places in those areas where you see Balkan Peninsula, these kind of accidents keep happening because the inner layer is eroded by the water and this land subsides down. So funnel shape towards the bottom. This is what happens where you have lots of sinkholes. Now, when this sinkholes is further becoming bigger, this funnel is becoming very large in the landscape, then it is known as solution sink. So that is the difference between a sinkhole and a solution sink. It is just the scale difference. So this is a huge one, right? Then there are certain features which are of localized nature, like these collapse sink, which are known as dolines. So these dolines are called collapse sinks. Many times even the park areas can be seen like that, or even houses have collapsed. So many construction activities are not known. So what happens? The surface below that is eroded by the water through solution, and then it goes down like this. So this is what happens. There is something called collapse sink. Then, if there are too many sinkholes and dolines joining hand in hand, suppose there was a smaller here, then there was this, then there was this. So this entire, when they join together, they form bigger valleys of this collapse or the holes, what we see as dolines or sinkholes. So then that valley sink, which we say, is known as uvalas. So when you say uvalas, these are not just anything else. These are just the coalescence, the forming together of all these features, forming a large valley of this surface. Now will you ask me that it is of underground nature, so how is it visible? Remember, this was earlier covered by the land, and now that land surface has gone and this surface is now exposed on the land surface as a valley. So that's why you see this entire valley here, but earlier this was not a valley, it was an underground feature. So that many times it is visible on ground now. These are known as uvalas. Then similar such planar feature, which we say as flat plain in karst territory, is known as large flat plain called polye. The J is pronounced as Y, so it is called polye. Remember, this kind of flat feature, part of the same valley, can you see here? This is a karst valley together. Earlier, this side and this side, what you see, this was entirely covered by the land. So this entire eroded away, and now what you see here is, what you observe here is this entire flat plain. This is known as polye. So that is important here, and remember, it is structurally controlled. So what it means is that there have been tectonic processes, endogenetic processes, diastrophic movements responsible for the larger formation of these polyes. Then let's go to some micro features. So what are these? Client and Greig structure. So what is this client and Greig? Remember, these slabs that you see here, these smaller slabs, these are called clients, and these deep fissures along these clients, these are known as Greigs. So these kind of structures are also there where there is a surface erosion along this entire corrosive drainage system. So that is what client and Greig structure is also there in the limestone areas, part of the same karst topography. Then there is something called thermokarst. The word is karst, it means limestone is there, it means underground water is there, but the other prefix is therm, it means heat effect. So what you see here, in colder regions where there is a permafrost condition, this underground water freezes, and when water freezes, we know one thing, that its volume increases. What happens then? If its volume increases, it pushes the upper surface. So upper surface gets these cracks, these undulations. So this is what happens in the thermokarst area, and gradually you see this entire surface is now eroded away, so it becomes an entire valley of thermokarst. So these are thermokarst feature. And these thermokarst feature are formed due to this action of frost heaving. Heaving is basically what? Putting upwards, holding something and pulling up. So that is what you heave. So this is being heaved up. This is being heaved up. So that's what you know as frost heaving, part of the thermokarst structure. Then we have already seen many springs, cascades, but this is different. This is coming from underground layer. This upper surface is closed and underground water is now coming as a spring, as a cascade if you see. These are known as karst spring. So this is another feature. Remember, normal springs and cascades can be found anywhere in the mountains, on the hill slopes, but karst springs are important feature because this water is underground water which has made its way through by eroding these important land features or the rock features underground which are soluble in water. So now they are coming out of this vent, which are known as karst springs. Then one of the most important features these days, because of the adventure tourism activity, it has gained strength in many parts of the world. It is called cenotes. So these cenotes are what? These are the pools, underground water pools. Can you see here? People are enjoying their recreational activities here. So these are underground pools. And how these pools formed? Any idea about it? These pools formed by the ancient glaciation. Now this glacier melted away underground water and it became the pool here. And what happens, as you know, underground water keeps dissolving in the karst areas. So these karst caves have these entire pools. And what happens, many people can even think of jumping from these pools down here. So many activities are planned accordingly. People go to the upper surface on the land and then jump into the pool as you go for any pool bathing. So that is important, that cenotes are these kind of underground pits or pools which are flooded and dissolved during the interglacial time, and now they are used as recreational landscape. Then further, as we know, caves are very important features. So you can see the image, caves formation happens because of this underground topography of karst landscape. Then at last, what you see is the depositional feature, which we have already learned in the process geomorphology as well. And these features are known as speleothems. So what are speleothems? These features: stalagmite, stalactite, pillars, flow stones. And what are these? Stalagmite, remember I said G is there. So ground is G. From ground, when this deposition keeps coming upward with gradual deposition, these features rising from the ground are called stalagmites. These features coming from the ceiling, hanging from the ceiling, remember the word is C. So ceiling, so coming from the ceiling is stalactites. And when the stalagmite and stalactite become so close that they join together, they fuse together, they become limestone pillars. And then those flow stones, remember those stones which are there, part of the flow that has been deposited through gradual process on the surface, on the flat areas, these are known as flow stones. So that is important, depositional landform due to the underground water, part of the karst landforms. So now, when we have already learnt about various features related to karst topography, karst landforms, in this session to come, we are going to learn about the last set of landforms in the series of the landforms that we have been doing, and it is going to be about coastal landforms. So stay tuned, keep watching.